Welcome all to Blumber Podcast. We are here to discuss about the healthcare professionals, what they mean to us, and how they have contributed to our society at large, and what our gains are with them around us. Today we have with us Tejaswini Yatish, a seasoned psychologist with long years of experience. She is currently serving as an assistant professor, and she'll give us insights about her life as a psychologist and her experiences being able to help a lot of individuals out there. And she'll also give us tips on how we could better ourselves to be better humans and have a little sleep at night well. Over to you, Tejaswini. How are you doing?
Yeah, good Pushpa. I'm fine. How about you?
Good, good, good. So, so tell us a little about yourself, Tejaswini.
Yes. Hello, first of all. Myself Tejaswini. I have done my clinical psychology specialization, master's in clinical psychology. Currently, I am working in one of the government colleges as assistant professor, and I have quite few experience as in the field of counseling also. So this is about my career.
So, counseling for how many? I mean, I'm not asking for a count, but for how many years have you been counseling individuals, people?
So it's no, it's not like I'm not doing counseling continuously. It's part and parcel. Like while if I'm get a clients, I'll do that.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll be sticking on to teaching.
Okay. So you like counseling more or teaching better?
I like the both.
Hmm.
Whenever I get the clients, I do counseling. Otherwise, I'll be teaching.
Okay. So, what drew you to this field of psychology? Is it like your interest in human beings, their nature, or what made you come towards psychology?
Actually, I came to this field by accident only.
Okay.
I didn't know what is psychology before taking this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing my degree, I got interested
Okay.
about the subject.
Okay.
So I planned to do masters in this subject,
Okay.
and it
So,
is very interesting.
okay, what was it so interesting? Like, I mean, psychology is studying human beings, right? What kind of drawed you towards psychology? Drew you towards psychology?
Yeah, as I told you, I have done my specialization in clinical psychology.
Mm-hmm.
So it speaks about what are the different disorders we have and how to understand people. That is the most important to deal with the family relationships. So that's made me very interesting,
So
and
being
I took this subject.
okay, so being able to study human beings is what drew you towards the field.
Yes.
Okay, so has this impacted your personal life also, where you had to, like as you said, we all are humans and we have a lot of emotions, and has this a person?
Very much.
Okay, okay, okay.
Surely it has its own impact on my personal life also. Like what people expect from us, what we expect from others, and
Mm-hmm.
how to handle the situations when we are not getting what we are expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in every relationship, we'll not get what we are expecting.
Yeah,
So how we can move
yeah.
forward.
Uh-huh.
So in these matters, psychology really has helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Now, coming to the general people understanding of psychology, it has been misunderstood. It still is misunderstood. Like people often think, why should I explain myself to others or to somebody who wants to listen to me, right? Like, how would you want to explain this and remove that misconception about what psychology is or what psychology really does?
Okay, psychology still in India, it's a kind of stigma
Hmm.
that
Okay.
where if I'm feeling something or if I'm suffering from something,
Mm-hmm.
I feel 10 times to go to a psychologist.
Okay, you think 10 times. Okay.
It's a kind of stigma people have, or we can say people are still stereotype about going to a psychologist or a counselor. They
Hmm.
think only who are mad or who are crazy people they go to seek help.
Hmm.
We are
Hmm.
normal, we don't need that kind of a help.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm.
they're thinking that, but nowadays because of lots of awareness,
Mm-hmm.
people are changed. but not fully.
Okay. Okay.
We can see both the kinds of people who are all approachable
Mm-hmm.
to counselors
Mm.
and who think still it is a bad thing or we are not that kind of a people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we can see both the kind of population.
So you're saying in the for a past lot of years, people have been suffering alone without having the feeling of kind of people are going to judge me, and they never approach psychologists. Right now, the awareness has increased because what do you think has led to this awareness?
Okay, suppose if we take past 10-15 years,
Hmm.
especially during COVID,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
the people got much more awareness about psychology.
Okay.
When
Okay.
people were alone, sitting at home,
Hmm.
no,
Hmm.
they were watching. No, the only connecting media was YouTube and other internet stuff.
Correct. Correct.
So
Hmm.
because of these things, psychology it's got very much promoted
Acha.
during
Okay.
we can say before COVID and after COVID.
Okay. So how
So
many?
after COVID, people got to know more about psychology and how they help in general people, why the psychology is needed for
Hmm.
general
Purposes.
public.
Okay, okay, okay. So, is it like due to social media also the awareness has increased, is what you're trying to say? Along with that,
Yes, yes, ma'am.
during COVID, was there also internal or personal search happening within individuals, and they felt that there is a need for somebody to tell me what is wrong or what is right with me, or is it like yeah, just the people were just the YouTube or the social media help them grow into
No,
understanding
during
by
COVID, what
psychologists.
happened?
Mm-hmm.
During COVID, what happened? People were alone. They did not had no to speak.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they were having so many people were having anxiety, depression issues,
Hmm.
and they were
Hmm.
so stressed about the future. What to
Okay.
do? What
Okay.
happens to future?
Yeah.
So all these things made up to think.
Hmm.
No, they need some help.
Okay.
So who can help them?
Uh-huh.
And there's some big film actors and who are all promoted psychology also the credit goes to them also.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
So like this they I think it's got awareness through
Understood.
media.
So, okay. In your experience, Tejaswini, over the years that you have been counseling and teaching psychology, has the perception of mental health per se, changed across people, across demographies? And if it has changed, have you seen any patterns like who has developed the change or why it has developed, something like that?
Okay, mental health is very important.
Hmm.
So what is mental health?
Mental health is well-being, internal well-being in the
Yes.
sense.
So how can a mental health is how can I adjust to the any new given environment?
Okay.
Or that environment is affecting me
Mm-hmm.
emotionally or personally, or will I able to adjust to this environment or not, or is it bringing me some kind of stress
Mm-hmm.
or not? So these are all include the mental health.
Okay.
So
Okay.
obviously mental health is as equal as important as our physical health.
Okay. 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 Hmm.
So people are giving more importance to physical health and somewhere they are neglecting their mental health,
Okay. Okay.
knowingly or unknowingly.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So when we get cough, cold or fever, we no we go to doctor and we take some medicines for those things.
Right.
But when I'm
Right.
feeling depressed or when I'm feeling lonely, when I'm feeling low, what we'll do?
Hmm. I
We'll
don't know.
think something and we'll just move on. It's okay, and we'll move on.
Right.
So somewhere we are neglecting the symptoms
Hmm.
which our mental health is showing.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I feel. So everybody will have mental health issues,
Okay. Okay. Earlier
irrespective
in
of where they are and how they are.
Understood. Earlier, in one of our conversations, you had mentioned that out of 100 people in a given location or a group, only two people approach psychologists, and even these two people, over a period of time they fizzle out, like they take therapy, they get better, and once they get back into the normal society again, and if there is some trigger points, they again pull back into the same cycle. Have you seen those patterns improve in the long run that you have been helping people, or has that continued, the scenarios have continued the same?
It depends, ma'am. Actually, what happens, as I told you, many people come to us
Okay.
or they approach psychologists or a counselors for their for their issues, life issues. It can be anything. Okay. Suppose we say, for example, a person who is suffering from a depression.
Okay.
The reason for the depression might be some career failure or relationship failure, something. It
Okay.
can be anything.
Okay.
So till where they are achieving or till they are where they are surpassing those difficulties, it is fine. So they come to us. What we'll do, we don't give a proper suggestions to them. Okay, we don't advise them. We give a suggestions.
Okay.
What are all options they have. Okay, I won't tell a person you have to do this so that your problem will be solved. No, I will never say that. No counselor can say that. We'll just tell them, okay, what are all option you have, what makes you better, or what are the pros and cons you will get if you choose this option.
Understood. Understood.
So we make the person to think what is better for them.
Okay. Okay.
So finally, the decision maker is the person himself. We just give them some kind of confidence. So it depends. Sometimes people will, if positive things are happening in their life, they really perform very well. They'll be doing very well in their life. But sometimes when they are, the life, it's unpredictable, right? So many times, so many people will have many failures in their life, in many stages.
True.
So if this occurs, there might be a case of relapse.
Relapse. Okay. Okay.
So who have already suffered from a depression, there is a more chance that person to feeling depressed again and again.
Okay. So there is a need for those people, even with or without any psychology issues, to address those any mental imbalance they feel or some kind of oppression they feel inside. They need to address that and they need to approach you. I mean, people like you, so
Yes.
psychologists. Okay.
Yes.
So, in your career so far, what types of common issues like that you have seen among people?
Nowadays, the basic commonly faced problem is stress and anxiety.
Okay.
And when it comes to youngsters, they have lot of addiction, drugs issues, and relationship issues.
Okay. Stress, anxiety, drugs, relationship issues. Okay. Okay. So, when
These
you
are the main
Hmm.
things which we see commonly.
Okay, when you say youngsters, what is their age group and why do you think that these are becoming common now?
Youngsters and they maybe during adolescence,
Adolescents like
that
16 to
is
20.
from 15 to 2022,
Okay, okay, okay.
especially in teenagers.
Hmm.
So in teenagers, the some common issues are drug addiction and relationship issues.
Okay.
The relationship issues are not telling only they'll have that so-called girlfriend boyfriend issues. It's not only that. They don't know how to connect with their parents.
Okay.
These kind of relationship issues also they are handling. They are
Okay.
facing some problems.
Right, right. Agreed.
It might be because of the generation gap.
Okay. So communication could also be missing between the parents and their
Sure,
children,
sure, yeah.
siblings. So it doesn't have to be restricted to their external environments. Inside house
So
also.
one more factor here is the age of the parents also matters here.
Hmm.
You might have seen, the parents, especially the couples, they're getting married at a later age, comparatively.
Correct.
If we
correct.
compare before,
Yes.
nowadays parents, like youngsters, they are getting married after, once they are settled in their career, everything is done, then they'll think about the marriage. Then after sometimes they think about the children.
Correct.
So when their children will grow up, they cannot relate. The mindset
Okay.
is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have around 20 to 30 years of age gap.
Okay. So they
Parents
missed
and
a
children.
generation.
So yeah, there's lot of generation gap.
Okay.
So the parents cannot think about the way how the child will perceive, and child cannot relate to the parents.
Okay. Definitely.
So this is where the communication gap or the misunderstanding happens.
Okay. So how do you think this can be bridged?
This can be built through connections. They should spend more time together.
Okay.
It is not happening. And
We're all busy.
they have that love and care about each other. If they spend time, they can understand each other.
Okay.
And one more thing, they should have that open mind. They should be ready to accept what they are and how they are. When we have certain expectation, okay, you are my daughter, you should be like this only. If we have that kind of expectation, then it will be difficult
Okay. Okay.
for parent and children, for both.
Understood. Understood. Wow, that's kind of a challenge because everybody is busy today. Be it the teenagers, be it
Yeah.
the parents. Parents are busy in their jobs. Parents are busy with their works.
Yes,
Their
students will be busy in their own life.
yeah.
This is happening.
So, let's say about the stress and anxiety you were mentioning, right? When compared to our older generations or our generation or and the coming new generations, what are the? I mean, do you see an increase in that stress and anxiety that they are facing now, or is it like they are better off compared to what we are now that AI is coming? AI is helping them better.
Definitely no, ma'am. Definitely no. Compared to our previous generation, we and our younger generation, they suffer even more.
Acha, okay.
They have even more stress and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
See, our parents, they were not giving much importance to education and career and all. They had their family careers. They will just have to run with that.
Right.
But
right.
in our situation, it was not like that. We had to study. We have to be competitive in the society. But for our children, that AI ghost is coming. They don't even think of better career choice. They have to compete with AI.
Okay. Okay.
So they will get even more stress and even more anxiety will be there for our future generation.
So you're saying that
So
AI
yes,
is
comparatively, it is increasing. Day by day, it is increasing.
okay. Okay. So what do you think that we can suggest the younger generation to do so that that anxiety, that stress can be pulled down a little?
So in that matter, I can suggest, compare for in career wise, yes, they have to compete. If you ask me as a psychologist, we should have some kind of mind exercises where we can understand and try to cool down ourselves.
Okay. 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 That's nice. So there are certain exercises that you will be helping us with, or you'll be suggesting them.
Sure. Whatever I can, like I will tell it
Okay. Sure.
when you ask.
Okay. Okay. So right now, you were also mentioning that career AI is coming, and AI is like a ghost that can capture the mindsets of the youngsters. People are going to compete with AI to get a job. Also, that's as you mentioned,
Yes.
right? Now, what is the role of social media, career pressure, and lifestyle play in mental health today? So, what role does the social media, career pressure, and lifestyle has as a role play in our mental health today?
Definitely, it has a major role, ma'am. As you told, the career pressure. I have already told how the youngsters are getting pressurized by AI and other technologies. They have to be very competitive. Okay, so there are in our age, if I have scored 85 and above, then it was very great. Now, if students are scoring, they're scoring 95, 99, but still,
It's not
there are
sufficient.
lot more competition, and they have to pay lakhs for to get a seat
Right.
from which college they are want to go.
Right. Right.
So it is it has a major role.
Hmm.
And lifestyle, yes. Um, you can see how Bangalore has been for
Evolving.
past over the years.
Hmm. 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 Now with all this, like I myself, as I was telling you earlier also, that I have this issue where I go into the YouTube and I scroll through the reels one after another, and half an hour later only I put away my phone to go to bed. So so that kind of social media is impacting my mental health, because I think my focus has somewhere reduced and I'm not able to calibrate my energies in the right direction also. So, as you said, all these are, yeah, you were saying something?
Yeah, so as you said, social media, it's not only affecting our sleep. It is when we are using phone. You might have observed, if you scroll your phone for 30 to 40 minutes continuously,
Mm-hmm.
after some time we feel very low. You
Hmm.
might have observed or not, I don't
Yes,
know.
yes,
So
yes.
many people will feel depressed,
Hmm.
that or they feel guilty.
Hmm.
Okay, have I done something wrong? Why I am feeling very low?
Okay.
What's happening? Why is this happening? Is
Hmm.
it's all because we have watched some much time of we have spent much time of phone
Hmm.
of our
Hmm.
time.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So people will feel depression, or they feel very low. They feel very no low self confidence. How much they depends on how much they using their phone and
Hmm.
what they are watching on the phone.
Okay.
If
Okay.
I'm browsing something very important, it is about my career or it is about my education, then I won't feel anything.
Hmm.
Simply if I'm browsing or if I'm scrolling the phone,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I do feel these
That I
kind of
wasted
things.
that time, and that is a depression.
Yes.
It's an
So
impact.
it happens unknowingly.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
it's not consciously, I won't get to know that I was wasting my time. But
Hmm.
I feel some guilty or some very low confidence.
Hmm. Hmm.
They don't know why they are feeling that. It is all because of the the time which we have wasted on the phone.
Okay. Has anybody approached you with career pressure being one of the reasons for stress and anxiety? Okay.
There are so many people, like they come for stress and anxiety.
Hmm. But they don't know that it is because of their career pressure or something that is impacting them.
They'll be getting no, they'll be knowing that
Hmm.
their career pressure. See, stress happens because of the career pressure, and when there are too much of requirements are there, when they are not meeting that requirements,
Hmm.
then we feel stress.
Okay.
Why we feel stress? When we are it's expected to do more
Hmm.
in a short span of time.
Okay.
In this time we feel stress,
Okay.
and when we are expected to do something we don't know, so now I have to learn and do.
Hmm.
So that gives me stress.
Okay. Okay.
So you might be seeing now these workers why they are stressed.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose I have 10 years of experience in IT industry, but IT industry itself is upgrading so much.
Yeah.
Now I had learned, I had passed out in 10 years back.
Hmm.
Now I have to update myself for 10 years approach. I should
Correct.
I should manage to who have passed after me 10 years,
Hmm.
those youngsters.
Yeah.
So it's a very challenging for me. I am already 40 years old. Now I have to match
The
for 25
youngsters.
year old,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
youngsters.
Hmm.
So that's why layoffs are happening in IT industries.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Where they feel they are not enough competent, they are removing them.
Hmm. Hmm.
So obviously it brings you more stress.
Okay. Okay.
So they have to update themselves, upgrade themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They have to match with new generations.
Hmm.
There are a lot of issues.
Yeah. So what can these people do? Like when they are going through this kind of stress and anxiety, do you suggest some kind of a solution, a small thing that can help them in their daily life, daily routine?
Yeah, the first thing is they should have, I feel personally, is everyone should have self love.
Okay.
Self love is very important.
Okay.
And many people are lacking this self love.
Okay.
Means they are prioritized themselves at a last.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, but we should prioritize ourselves first.
Okay. Hmm.
So when I love myself, then only I can love other people. Or
Yeah.
and this is the main.
Hmm.
Okay. After that, we should practice something called as gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay.
We should be happy about whatever I have. I should
Okay.
be happy about what I am doing. I
Hmm.
should be happy about the job I am doing. I should have that satisfaction. Job satisfaction must be there.
Okay. Okay.
So if they're not happy with their job, they'll be having so many complaints. They'll be cribbing about one or the other thing. Okay, why should I come early in the morning? I have to be here till
Hmm.
5 or 6. My manager is not good. No, they'll have many complaints
Yeah. Yeah.
if they're not happy about their job.
Correct. Correct.
And
So,
also
huh.
mindfulness is also very important.
What is it? Sorry.
It is mindfulness. Mindfulness is
Mindfulness.
also very important.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Mindfulness is where I'm consciously aware of what I am doing, or I have to consciously enjoy
What
at
I'm.
present without thinking my past and future.
Hmm. Hmm.
So simple things. For example, if I'm having my lunch,
Hmm.
I should enjoy my lunch. I should
Okay.
not think after my lunch, what should I do? What will my manager will tell me?
Hmm.
We should not think about all these things. Be present and enjoy the present.
Okay.
Whatever you're doing, you enjoy that. So
Gratitude,
that is
mindfulness, practicing gratitude, mindfulness, and being in the present. These three things will help anybody overcome their stress and anxiety, at least so that they immediately don't
Yes,
have to
yes.
reach. Okay. At what stage should people actually feel that they need help and they should approach therapists or psychologists like you? Is there something where which can help them understand now enough is enough? I should go and approach a psychologist, a professional who can help me out. Is there something like that?
Okay. Yeah, ma'am. So when we are very much stressed out or burnout, what happens? My sleep get disturbed.
Okay, yeah,
The first thing,
yeah, true, true.
they will not be able to sleep properly.
Hmm, hmm.
So actually, we have to go to sleep within 7 minutes once we go to bed.
Okay, okay,
Okay, so if you are not able to do that, means you have some issue mentally.
okay. So that's
Might
the
be
first
smaller or
indication.
larger, it depends.
Okay,
It might be very minor.
Okay.
It depends on the people, person to
Okay.
person.
Okay.
But normally, if you don't have if you are mentally healthy, then you should go to sleep at least within 7 minutes.
of hitting the
But
bed.
I think most of the people are not doing this.
Okay, okay. So that is the first
One thing, they
indication.
might be having some worries, or
Uh-huh.
they might be, wasting their time while browsing the phone,
Hmm.
scrolling the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
So first thing, when they are very much stressed, they will have sleep issues and they will have eating issues.
Eating issues. Okay, okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So they'll be having so many short breaks. Like whenever I feel stressed out, what will I do?
Hmm.
I'll go out and I'll have a coffee or I'll have something
Okay.
which is unwanted. It
Okay.
happens
The junk.
between lunch.
Uh-huh.
It's not a lunch time. It's not a breakfast time. It is in between,
Okay, okay. Understood.
and it disturbs my work. I cannot think properly. I cannot take decision properly.
Hmm. Hmm.
Where my thinking capacity is affecting, my decision making is affecting, my sleep is disturbed, my eating habits are disturbed,
Okay.
and also my relationships with the relationship with the
Immediate
husband,
family.
relationship with his wife,
Okay.
and children are getting affected.
Okay.
So when they observe all these things, I think they are in need of help.
Okay. Anytime any of these five things that you mentioned, sleep disorders, food eating disorders, then relationship
These
issues.
are not disorders, these are all disturbances.
Okay,
We cannot
sorry.
say these are disorders.
I'm sorry. When there is
These are all disturbances.
yeah, when there is a disturbance in sleep, food, and relationships, work stresses getting onto your head, all these are triggers, and one needs to reach out to the psychologist immediately, right? Okay, now
Yes.
in India at least, we have a lot of stigma. People are not ready to approach the psychologist directly. And how do you think they can handle this? what should we let them know, people, that it's no more a stigma, it's a fact. Just like you have physical bruises, you have
Yes,
mental issues, minor, major, doesn't matter. You need help, you need help, that's a
yes,
fact. How do we let them
yes.
know that? How do we help them come
The
out
first
of
thing
this?
is once, yeah, first thing is once they feel they have mental fatigue or burnout, they should take a break.
Okay.
Break means here it's not like they have to go for some vacation, they have to spend some time, good time. It need not to be that only. At least they should have some kind of activity in a daily basis
Okay.
where they enjoy themselves,
Hmm.
where they forget everything and they enjoy themselves.
Okay.
It can be any sports or any recreative activities.
Okay. Okay.
It can be physical exercises.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have some time for their physical body.
Okay. Okay.
They should take a break
Hmm.
and they should come and they should start with a newly, whatever they have been stuck.
Understood. Understood. So that means
So this is
every.
one.
Uh-huh.
Then they should prioritize their daily schedule.
Okay.
This is called time management.
Hmm.
Whenever I am in office, I'll do office job.
Hmm.
I'll try to finish how much ever I can.
Hmm.
Once I'm back from the office, I should not think about my job. This time is my family.
Family time.
So that
Okay.
this is mindfulness. Where
Okay.
I am there, I will
Be present there.
consciously I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll enjoy the time where I am.
Understood. Hmm.
So they should prioritize the family, relationship, rest, sleep,
Everything.
whatever.
Okay.
So that is prioritizing. And also they should have healthy boundaries.
Sorry, what boundaries?
Healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries. Okay. Okay.
Healthy boundaries. For example, if my colleague has stuck in some problem,
Hmm.
it's not my issue to solve her problem or his problem.
Hmm.
If I know, I will help. If I don't know, it's okay. I have a lot of my own issues.
Correct.
So we should know what to do, where to stop ourselves. So these are the some, and also these our daily exercise are much more important because it uplifts our mood.
Okay. Exercises.
So-
Go ahead.
So when we do lot of physical activities, it helps us to stay calm, and also it helps us to be concentrative and having much more consciousness what we are doing,
Okay.
and it uplifts our good mood. That is very important.
Does this also, as you were saying, the physical exercises that we do, as they uplift our body and our energy, does this also help us to become more organized, and because we can think better, and also
Yes,
make our
ma'am.
day be a more energy driven?
Yes, and also having a good, proper, balanced meal
Okay.
is also very helpful.
Okay. Exercise, balanced meal, mindfulness, and practicing being in the present. Okay. that's not a lot, but yeah, it's difficult because we have mostly
All
moved on.
simple things which we have to do in our daily life.
Simple things,
But
yes.
it's just that we have to practice in the initial days. Once we are practiced and it became a habit, then it's very easy.
Understood. So now let's come to healthcare professionals, ma'am, Tejaswini. So these healthcare professionals like doctors, nurses, allied, they are 24/7 busy people. They get very little time for themselves, right? Be it their professional life, their personal lives. It's like they are compartmentalized wherever they are working or whatever duty they are doing. Now, for these people, their mental stress can be different from other people. What do I mean by that? They need to handle human emotions. It's not just the patient that they are treating, it's also the relatives that come to see that patient. They need to help them understand the situation, help them with the trauma, or maybe not trauma also, right? But still they need to handle people. And also that there is a problem where the person who they are treating may or may not survive. I mean, if it is extreme cases, right? And all this, they are under huge trauma or stress or anxiety, right? Do you think our doctors, our nurses, they need help, psychological or psychiatrist help? What are your thoughts around it?
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely, they also need psychological help
Okay.
to better understanding of the patients
Okay.
and, as you told, the relatives.
Okay. Okay.
So once they got to know, obviously they will be have so many pressures and they have to work there because of they don't have the time boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So when they don't get proper sleep or proper rest, it will affect their job.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So they need a psychological help
Okay.
for a betterment of patient and the relationship between doctor and patient for
Understood.
both.
Understood. Okay.
So it's not only doctors. I think for all the professionals, they need psychological help. We can say the teachers, the school teachers also, they need also psychological support
Yeah,
to
yeah,
understand the students' mindset,
Right. Right.
to
Very true.
handle the students.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, before when we were growing up, capital punishment was nothing in the sense. I mean, what do I mean by capital? People, teachers hitting students was a common practice. Right now,
Yes.
they can't even put a finger on the students, but still they need to be stern. They need to still control the class. So,
Yes.
so this, I mean, not that any individual would want to harm a student or children, right? But they are pressured by the school saying that they need to follow a certain decorum, and also they are pressured by the parents saying this is not how I imagine the school to be kind of a scenario. I'm not saying they are right, they are wrong. No, everybody have their own thoughts. Everybody have the goal of bringing up a child to being contributors to the society. So I definitely understand, but the pressure that you said for teachers is definitely there. And I think, yeah, as you said, I think recently I heard from some school had appointed psychologists, in-house psychologists, to help their staff and the students alike. Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the school is hiring psychologist in their
Okay.
school.
Okay.
Like in-house, they have a post called counselor or a psychologist.
Okay.
It helps the teacher and the student relationship. See, in a school, not every child will be not academically good, and being academically good will not decide the child's future.
Correct. Correct.
The child may not be good at that point of time academically.
True.
So we don't know.
Yes.
The child may improve or the child may bright in other areas. So that cannot decide whether the child is bright or dull or whatever. But yeah, sometimes teachers, the child is studying well, scoring well, then the child is good. Otherwise, it's not a good child. No, they have that kind of stereotype again. It's a stereotype. So it's all need psychological help in these areas.
Okay. Just trying to understand a fun fact here. Of the healthcare professionals, teachers, engineers, and other people, right? Of all these people, which group kind of approaches the psychologist more, in your experience? Like, if you have understood that or you have studied that, do doctors approach?
Doctors won't approach much.
Okay. Okay.
Because as they're very busy in their own life schedule,
Okay.
they'll not think about
mental-
psychologists or psychological help much.
Okay.
I think engineers approach more
Okay. Okay. They understand the
comparatively.
stress better.
Students, yes,
Okay.
students and engineers, because they have lot of work pressure. I think they might have something as target irutte, and also their professional idea. They'll be most of the time they'll be sitting and doing, and they have lot of computer work. So they're very ideal.
Idle.
Their
Okay.
job is very idealistic.
Yeah.
So they approach more comparatively.
Okay. As you were saying, the corporate workers, they are sitting mostly idle in one place, sedimentary lifestyle. So, do you think that their emotional fatigue is also high?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Under such.
Because they cannot connect with the people. The connection with the people is very less for them.
Okay.
So when we speak more, when we have time with other people, our burden will reduce.
Okay.
Whatever I'm feeling stress or anxiety, that will reduce with the way I'm speaking to can be my spouse or and my child. If
Okay.
I'm speaking or if I'm spending some quality time with my family, there only my stress and anxiety will reduce.
Okay.
So if that time is not there, then it will be, it will be there in a higher rate.
So the emotional fatigue is for real. It has to be addressed. Is there any simple techniques like you had earlier mentioned, the mindfulness technique and being in the present, eating right, sleeping right? Apart from that, do you think there is anything additional that these people who are facing emotional fatigue can do on a daily basis? Apart from reaching out to psychologists like yourself, is there any other practice that they can follow on a daily basis that can help them?
Ma'am, one thing is, lot of people do self-blaming.
Okay, okay,
So they should stop doing this self-blaming
okay, okay. That's very
and
true.
focus more on what is the problem, how can I solve this problem. So we should stop doing self-blaming and concentrate more on problem-solving factor.
Okay, okay. Understand what the problem is.
This can be done.
Okay.
And one more thing, we should have this practice that before go to sleep, we should think about what I have done on this day and what is my planning for tomorrow.
Okay.
It's just for 1 or 2 seconds or 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Again, it's a kind of mindfulness.
Okay.
So what I have done from the day to till now I'm going to bed, and what is my major plans for tomorrow, what I have to do.
Okay.
It's just a kind of mind exercises.
Understood. Understood. So in
So
those.
if you feel happy about you will get a good sleep.
Okay.
If you are not, you should plan very good what you have to do for tomorrow.
So the 7 minutes before going to bed has to be very useful. The first minute has to be what I did during the day, recollecting. The next 2 minutes has to be what I need to do the next day. And the next 4 minutes has to be deep breathing where I can go into deep sleep. It can help me.
Yes.
Okay. That's an interesting. So this kind of helps us also in our emotional fatigue and burnouts. That's very nice, man. So if somebody is listening to us and he feels overwhelmed, right? He or she feels overwhelmed about so much of understanding about psychology. What do you think they should take as a first step? Do you suggest that they talk to someone or they approach a psychologist, or if they have to study themselves? What do you think they should do so that they can understand their inner being, or something to understand themselves, like, because we are talking about mental health here, so how do they evaluate
As I
themselves?
told you, they should have something called as self-love.
Okay.
That should be prioritized.
Understood. Okay.
So we can see so many housewives, especially women. We don't put ourselves first in wherever or whatever doing. We prefer first husband, then children, then in-laws, then our turn will come at the last. So that should be corrected.
Okay.
So I should like myself, I should love myself, I should care myself. If I'm happy, I can spread my happiness to others. If I am feeling low, if I am feeling very bad, sad, then no, I cannot. I will spread that negative vibes only, with knowing or unknowingly.
Right.
So we should have that positive attitude towards ourselves. So the most likable person in my life should be me first.
Okay. Nice.
Then, yes, I like my husband. Then I like my spouse or children or parents, whatever.
Right.
And self-love is not a selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
There's a no thin line between selfishness and being self-care.
Okay, self-care. Okay.
That should not be misunderstood.
Understood. That's interesting. So, yes, self love is important. And as you said, if we love and we have so much love within ourselves, that is what can be spread across to our family, children, and
Yes.
everybody.
Yeah, it means it gives you positive vibe in and around.
Hmm. Understood. Now, let us come to the future. Like you have been in this field for the last 10, 12, 13, 14 years, right? Now, what do you see psychology as a field in the next 10, 14, 15, 20 years? And how do you think it is going to evolve?
Definitely, it has a scope, ma'am, because we were speaking about AI.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So personally, I feel AI cannot take the whatever the job we are doing.
Okay.
It can give you suggestion, but it cannot understand people.
Correct.
So I think we have better future comparatively.
That's nice. So you're saying AI is not going to take off my job.
I don't think so.
Very good. I know for sure because human involvement is very much necessary more than the machine when comes to dealing with behaviors, emotions, and all of these thoughts, the inner thoughts, right? I totally agree with you. And for the younger generation who are looking at psychology as a field, do you have any takeaways for them?
Takeaways, yes. I'll suggest. No, self-love is more important.
Okay. Okay, students, self love is important for you also. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So, Tejaswini, one question I have for the students, right? If you have to suggest to the younger generation who are looking at psychology as a field, what do you think you can suggest them there? What they have to focus on, or what they need to learn, or be mindful about when they are taking up psychology as a subject for themselves?
Okay, you are asking me if they want to take a psychology as their subject.
Correct.
Is that like that, or
Yeah.
do I need to give any message for them?
No, no, no. Just if the students, whatever you feel like, you are the professor here, so you suggest what
Okay. So
they need to focus.
from me, the message for the students is accept whatever comes
Okay.
and expect less from the life.
Okay.
No, nowadays students or younger generation, they have lot of expectation and lot of fantasizing.
Okay.
They fantasize more.
Yes. Yeah.
So expect less and accept whatever you have. You will be happy.
Got it. That's very nice.
So this will be my message for
To the
youngsters.
youngsters. Okay. One closing question I have. One message that you would want to leave all those corporates, the leaders, the healthcare professionals, the housewives, women, men, everybody, right? One closing statement that you think they should carry with them, and which will help them with their mental.
Okay. I think self-love is very much important.
Okay.
So please love yourself, care yourself,
Okay.
so that you can give your care and love to others.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Tejaswini. It was a wonderful 40 minutes or 50 minutes of discussion
you so
with you.
much, Preeti.
Such insightfulness about psychology and how self love is more important, and how that love that we breed for ourselves can help us love our environment, our family greater, is such a powerful statement. I really thank you for your time. And yes, we need to take this to our heart and start practicing things that you already mentioned. Thank you so much, Tejaswini, for your time. Thank you.
Most welcome. Thank you, Pushpa.